Hey gang, welcome to another edition of MagicReview.com. Today we've got an unboxing, but before we get to that, let me just re-emphasize my purpose in life when it comes to reviews. My goal is not to say, oh, that's an awesome effect, or oh, that's a crappy effect, or that effect has no meaning, or that effect has lots of meaning. I don't care, because you and I are going to disagree on that all day long. I don't do card warp. I hate that trick. I think it's a stupid trick. Does that mean it's a bad trick? You might say yes. Somebody else might say no. So how can I give it a review based on that? I've used this analogy before. I love comedy movies, for example. Does that mean that all dramas are bad even if I don't like dramas? Of course not. My goal is not to tell you whether this is a good trick or a bad trick. And why am I bringing this up? I recently wrote a review of, Distort? Crap, I didn't prepare for this, so I forgot which trick it was. There was a trick by Skullcore where you have something, I don't even have a deck of cards laying around here. Let me see here we go. Where you write something on, deflect, that's what it's called. You write something on the side of the box, you shake it and the thing changes, then you shake it, it changes back, and then you wipe it off. I gave it a really good rating, 4.5 stars or whatever. But somebody posted a comment on the review site, which I'm leaving there because I respect other people's opinions and I have no problem with this. But all he did in the review is point out how the effect has no meaning, and if you're going to write a prediction, why are you writing it on the side of the box? And this is proof of the sad state of magic that we're in today, and it's a crap and a waste of money. Well, that's fine. That may all be true for your particular repertoire. My job isn't to decide if it's meaningful to write on the side of a box. That's your job. You as a performer might have a very good reason that you could put into your script for writing the prediction on the side of the box. That's not my job as a reviewer. My job as a reviewer is to tell you, when you shake it and they show in the trailer that it changes, does it really look that good? That's my job as a reviewer. Is the product gimmick going to last you a while? Is it worth the amount you're paying? Is it a legitimate method, or is it a method that only works dead on for a camera or something like that? That's my job as a reviewer, in my opinion. Now, I'm probably the only reviewer out there that does that. Most reviewers say, no, it was a stupid idea, a stupid prop, whatever. That's not my job. There's a ton of stuff that I've given a really good rating to that I would never use in a million years because it doesn't fit my personal repertoire and my personal style. There are other things that I've given a bad review that I actually might use because I like some things about the concept, but I wouldn't. But the product itself was just poorly made, and they were asking way too much money for it. So my job isn't to decide, oh, you must buy this because it works for my repertoire. I mean, that's retarded. So sorry, I'm a little bit on a soapbox, but I just want to make it clear what you guys need to understand. I am not saying that this effect is good or bad, that any effect is good or bad. I'm simply pointing out the effect is or is not what they say it is or is not. That is all. Your job as a magician is to decide, hey, that trick looks really good in my opinion, in your opinion, the magician, and I'm representing you at this moment. I think I would use that trick. Therefore, I'm going to go watch Jeff's review and see, is that trick exactly what it claims to be, or is it going to be this ridiculous 9-hour hookup or some ridiculous method that nobody can do or whatever, or is it a simple enough method that I could do it? That's how I view my job as a reviewer. If you want to say that a product I gave 5 stars to is a stupid effect, that's fine. But for everybody who says it's a stupid effect, there's going to be somebody that says it's a good effect. That's why I don't even get into that debate. I don't even deal with that. I don't even mess with that. So I think I'm off my soapbox now. I'm not entirely sure. I just want to make it clear. I do not rate the effects. I used to. If you go back and read my old reviews, you will see that I used to do that. And that's what would happen. I get into too many debates about it, and I realize this is kind of a stupid thing. Because who am I to say that this trick is good for your repertoire or bad for your repertoire? I mean, Criss Angel doesn't do sponge monies, guys. I mean, right, wrong, or indifferent, he doesn't do them, I don't think, just because it doesn't fit his edgy style. Restaurant performers who perform for kids, sponge monies is probably a must. I know Danny Archer uses them, for example, in his restaurant work. I don't use them because I just think they're too silly for the kind of stuff I do. Are they bad tricks or good tricks? No. If I were to review sponge monies, I would review the quality of the sponge monies, how good the instructions were that came with it, how well they compress for the different things you got to do, and how nice they look and how long I think they're going to last. It's going to be up to you whether or not you think Sponge Money fits your repertoire. The end. On to the unboxing. Today, first of all, I got a pretty decent sized package from Murphy's today. Two of the things that I got were actually not on the shipping slip or the packing slip. And this is one of them. It's called Quit. And it looks like some sort of a quit smoking thing. So it's probably a vanishing, let's see. Vanish a full pack of cigarettes from inside the pack. So there you go. We'll see how that goes. Next one. Now there, okay, perfect example. I don't smoke. I don't use tricks with cigarettes. But for all I know, this might be the most clever, amazing gimmick in the world. And if it is, it'll get a good rating. If it's a stupid gimmick that doesn't work, then I'll give it a bad rating. But the fact that it's cigarettes and I would never use it, that doesn't mean it's not a good trick. Or a good, see, there I go again. That's not even about the trick. Doesn't mean it's not a good product. Okay? Got it. Onward and upward. Second one that was not in the packing slip, Spinnerets. And it says, spin webs anytime, anywhere. Dude, you could be Spider-Man. I don't know what that means to spin a web. I have no idea. Maybe it's some sort of thread hookup. I have no idea. Or if you're literally shooting webs. Who knows? All right, everything else was on the packing slip. This I'm curious what's in. I haven't even opened the box yet. It's Harry Robson Magic, The Worker's Dream. A great effect by Harry Robson. What's the effect? I don't know. I just like the packaging. It looks kind of unique and fun, so we'll find out. This is funny. Unfortunate. A series of unfortunate effects. Now, see, as a reviewer, if this is a bad set of DVDs, I'm going to have to do wordplay on unfortunate effects. But we'll see. I am not judging. I have not opened it. I don't know. It might be great. It might be terrible. We will see. Next, we have MS Magic Night 2014. Just looks like a sort of a mix of a bunch of different artists here. Next, I don't know if it's Mix Sandwich or MC Sandwich. I'm going to go with Mix Sandwich because it sounds more fun. By Michael Chatelin. I've reviewed a couple of his things before. I've given him really good reviews and really bad reviews. We'll see what this one is. Mark Elsdon. I like Mark Elsdon. Most of the time his stuff is pretty solid stuff. I don't know if that's him. If it is, man, he's lost some weight. He was a big guy. Speaking as a big guy myself, that is. But anyway, this Mark Elsdon, so I'm looking forward to watching that. I do typically like his stuff. Not only is his stuff typically good quality, but it's actually fits the stuff that I happen to like to do. We have similar interests. He's got a couple of Rubik's Cube effects that I like and that are in my repertoire. We have Contemporary Mentalism from the Mind of Jack Curtis. Distorted Visions. I'm looking forward to this. Always digging the mentalism stuff. Collision version 2 or V2. I'm assuming that stands for version. No idea. Ravi Mayar. And I have looked at some of his stuff before. I will withhold judgment. SansMinds Chocolate Coin. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this one. That might be one of the first ones I review. Also from SansMinds, we got Bound. The linking rubber band effect, which I know some people are looking forward to. Then we got Big Blind Media, of course. Their stuff's always good production quality. And 98% of the time, the product is good, too. Scott Thompson's Aurora, Modern Card Flourishes. So that'll be interesting. And last but not least, this freaking huge thing here. This looks like the old kids' prop gag called The Wrong Way. So we'll see how that goes. That's from Vernet. So that's the list. Now, in my past couple of reviews, I have been getting people requesting which product they want reviewed first. And I will now open that up and say to you, tell me what you want to review first, and I will do that. And until I start seeing some comments on here, I'll probably just stick with reviewing some of the stuff from previous unboxings until I start seeing what you guys are interested in me reviewing out of that list. Last, back to my soapbox a minute ago. Take a DVD like this. Scott Thompson's Aurora. It's going to be card flourishes. I don't do a lot of flourishes. I do 2 or 3 that I've been doing for years that just fit my style of performing. And so this is one of those ones that's a little trickier to review, because I can say, yes, it's a good flourish or a bad flourish, but if you're not a flourisher, then it's irrelevant. Why even watch the review, because you'll never do card flourishes. So this one's a little trickier because I have to kind of judge the material on its own. I have to give some input as to whether or not I think the flourishes look good or not. But it's still going to come down to your ultimate opinion on that. So my best thing to do on something like this is to just say whether, and I haven't reviewed it yet, so I don't know, but to simply say, yes, these flourishes are taught well. Go watch the trailer, and you'll see that those flourishes are taught and they're broken down to where you can learn them, or not. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't reviewed it. So that's how I review this kind of thing. Bound is the kind of thing, it feels like there's something else in there, so there's probably a gimmick. So I'll be reviewing gimmick quality. I'll be reviewing the method, how practical it is, those types of things. Same thing with Chocolate Coin. Collision here looks like it's going to be a collection of effects. Now, some of the effects I assume are going to be on the trailer. So you'll see them on the trailer, and I can at least point to those, however many effects are on the trailer, and say, yes, these effects are legitimate, and the methods are legitimate or not. But there's going to be stuff on here that is not in the trailer. And so this is where it gets a little tricky, where it's hard for me not to talk about the effect. So, but I still don't say, yes, I think this is a good trick, therefore you should buy it. What I typically do in a scenario like this is, for example, this says ring, a 10-phase, oh my gosh, 10-phase, a 10-phase powerhouse visual routine done with just one ring. Each phase is modular, leaving you the opportunity to do each phase, one phase, or mix them up. So when I look at this and I review this particular product, I'm going to look at that trick and all the other ones and go, okay, is it a 10-phase thing that's really done with just one ring? Is the ad copy legitimate? Or do you need like 5 secret rings or 12 gimmicks hidden on your body? Secondly, is it really modular? Can you really do it? I'm getting a dismissed battery warning here, or the low battery warning there. But we're still going. I got 20% left. The next question I'll ask is it truly modular like they say it is? If it is, okay, then great, it passes. Then the next thing I'm going to look at is how new or original are the ring moves. And I will comment on it and say, look, yes, these are all ring moves I've never seen before, or they're ring moves that allow you to do X, Y, or Z, or these are all ring moves that you probably learned when you watched Greg Wilson's DVD 20 years ago, or not. I'm making all this up just to prove a point. So I try as best I can to not judge the effects as the effects, because everybody's going to have difference of opinion. If you are a kids performer, you're going to have different stuff that fits into your repertoire than if you're David Copperfield. David Copperfield might not want a 10-phase ring routine, but a restaurant worker might. I don't know. I know I don't. I have a 3 or 4-phase ring routine that I do. So hopefully I've made some of that a little bit clear, or I've just confused you more. Who knows? This has gone on long enough. Remember, vote down below which product you want me to review first, and I'll try to get it in my next set of reviews. I've been a little bit behind. I'm trying to do one a day, but I'm a little slacking on that, guys. So sorry about that. I'm going to try to make sure I stay on that target, though, of one a day at least. Anyway, random iTunes song of the moment today. We've got The Clairvoyant by Iron Maiden. Ba-bam. It's off the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album. Big fan of Iron Maiden, as you know. You listen, I drink. Oh, yeah. You know, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, that album, the entire album was inspired by an Orson Scott Card novel of the same name, Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Or it might have just been called The Seventh Son. It's also known as the Red Prophet series. There's like 5 or 6 books, and they're excellent. I've read them all, except for, I think, the final one. And they're very, very good, and it's this whole album was inspired by the characters and the stories of that. So there you go. That is Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, The Clairvoyant by Iron Maiden. Peace out, guys. I will see you on the next review, which will be much shorter. Way shorter. Later.